back to flowers in the summertime. The last time we were together, we solved the case of the mysterious green hookman who ended up being one Suo Shinohane who had picked up on a lead about her girl Mayuri. There might be something there, maybe a clue. We don't know. Can't quite figure it out yet. She's being a little tight-lipped about it, but Erica did the good thing and she kind of covered up for her. But then we also found out that Sister Dahlia's hiding something. So Erica and Dahlia are kind of having this moment where they both kind of admit, look, I'm hiding something from you. I just can't talk about it right now. It ain't like I don't like you or nothing. It's just, sometimes you gotta keep some secrets. And that's kind of where we're at now. Going into the next chapter, all I know is that the ballet recital is still on the docket. We did not get to that last chapter, so I can only assume that this is where things are culminating, so let's just get right back into things and see what we can do about that. Also, I'm going to apologize in advance for sounding a little garbage today. There is literally an entire dump truck of pollen outside, blowing around freely, and it is really doing the best job that it can to impede my ability to talk and breathe. So I don't know, this one may end up a little shorter than usual. We'll see how long my voice holds out. I like to make these go for about an hour, so we'll see what we can do. I'm already reaching for the water and we're only like 2 minutes in. It's a very good sign. A cloud shaped like a fairy tale castle floats above the distant trees. The sky is a bright, clear blue, and the large, fluffy cloud stands out in sharp relief against the ridgeline of the forest. As I try to distract myself from the heat, I realize I've had exactly the same thought before. Oh, we shuffling. I gaze at my amitié partner as she takes a break from her intensive training to grab her flask, which is filled with energy drink. Soaked in sweat from dancing nonstop in this intense heat, Chidori continues her practice as Princess Aurora's final scene in the ballet's second act, where she awakens from her slumber and begins to dance. The act's finale, the Le Reveil d'Aurore. The soft tempo of the music calls for a dance of real stillness and clarity of movement. But it seems that producing clearly defined bursts of intensity is harder than dancing at a sustained clip. She usually dances with such a cool, unfazed expression, but now the sweat is pooling in Chidori's cleavage, while the other lead dancer, whose sweat has nowhere to pool, rip, simply slumps down on the floor, gasping for breath. Yeah, sometimes it just takes a few minutes to get back at it. You need a session or two. The character that the Prez is playing, Princess Florina, has lots of movements that are more comical, that make sense that it would be tough getting back into it after a break. She blinks at me, then, after a moment of hesitation, smiles understandingly. I mumble something about it being a very specific turn of phrase, then reflecting that it's about time to continue the checkup. I look across the students due to dance next. Because I love Sister Dahlia. What? I grimace as I think back on the exchange in the baths a few days prior. I'm embarrassed of myself for being so open and honest about my feelings. You know, living a life without duty and all. I take a sip of my drink. She really is. She'll never admit it. She is. Shut up. Get out of here. I hand her my flask and urge her to rehydrate. Then I ordered Chidori, who's still going to recharge to change with someone else so she doesn't overwork herself. The flame of momentum flickers and dims as she returns to her normal self, but it's not like it's been extinguished completely. The embers still smolder somewhere in there. I hand Chidori my flask. She gulps the liquid down inside like it's the most delicious thing she's ever tasted, then beguilingly swipes her index finger across her lips. Look how friendly she's become. She's still rigid as ever when it comes to ballet, but it seems like she's at least learning how to take an interest in other people. Perhaps it's a consequence of having gone through the Hookman incident, but I think it's more the fact that she opened up to me about the scars she bears from the affair with her former underclassman. I know it's not as simple as that, but I can't help but slip into that mode of thinking. I instruct the next student to dance as she would in the real performance. She's playing a male part. She nods, then shows me the flare of expression she'll bring to the dance. It's not bad, and I give her the okay. Yeah, she's into it. Someone snatches what little remains of my flask. How's it going? It's the Sasaki twins, who are playing Puss in Boots and the White Cat. Yeah, like if anybody's not gonna half-ass something, it's Erica. This girl takes on a task. She is on point until the end. Even when it's foisted upon her. Not that this one was foisted upon her, but you get the idea. Yeah, she could probably be a good director. Like, I could see her going into movies, or at least, like, theater production after school. Would love to see some short indie films directed by one Erika Yagaki. The Sasakis smile along with me, although I wasn't really kidding. She puffs out her flat chest. Her sister continues to watch the other girls practice closely. I tell her she's exactly right, and she grins. I go on to say that this applies to the third act, especially at the wedding of Princess Aurora and Prince Desire. I rack my brains for a cute dance that'll bring the meek Shirahane out of her shell, then suddenly find my lips curling into a smile. Oh yeah! She's getting that devious look on her face. So many evil thoughts now running through this mastermind's head.
章は猫なのに犬かとはこれいかにって感じだよね。
She laughs as she kneels down on the floor, her legs splayed outward.
バスキア教諭の誕生日からこっち熱も入ってきたしな。
From the day it was announced that I would be taking over the choreography, we moved into full-on practices for the show. As one of Tchaikovsky's 3 ballets, The Sleeping Beauty has been performed about as many times as there are stars in the sky. Together, Sister Basquiat and I had picked scenes from various performances that featured the fewest male parts that would give everyone their moment in the spotlight. First up was Act 2, Scene 2, Le Château de la Belle au Bois Dormant, with Princess Aurora's Awakening. Man, you just love how I bulldoze through these French pronunciations. It's only going to get better from here. Then came some selected parts from the procession of the fairy tales from Act 3, Les Noches de Desire et d'Aurore. And lastly, the final highlight of the performance, the Variation d'Aurore, which would serve as our finale. We're copying the basic dances, but the main job of the choreographer is to adjust them slightly, bearing in mind the skill of each individual performer. First, I'm having everyone perform the basic dance for me so I can get a handle on their abilities. Then I have to come up with a choreography that fits both the story and the aesthetics. It's pretty tough. I don't know that I could do this!
Yosh.
And I've helped put on theater productions before. I call up the next girl as I scribble down my notes alongside my changes for the Sapphire Fairy.
Oi. 女の子座りはやめた方がいいぞ。委員長を見習え。
I warn her.
なんで？体育座りだと女の子の大切な部分が見えちゃうよ。
The president hurriedly wraps her arms under her thighs to cover up. She glares at us, her cheeks red, but doesn't change position. Because I'll get a peek up your skirt. She's such a lecherous old man. I decide to avenge the president.
そりゃ、いちご先生のスカートから覗くおみ足を覗きたいんだよ。綺麗な足してるもんな。見習いたいくらいだぜ。
Get her! Get her! I'd expected her to get all embarrassed and clam up, however. Oh, wait! Oh, how the turns have tabled! She reacts modestly, slapping me on the shoulder and prattling like a gossipy middle-aged woman. I don't know, it sounds like it'll get you everywhere. I suddenly find her shoving a candy at me, and bowled over by her intensity, I force a smile back at her. Aww. The younger twin whispers to me, and I find myself unable to tell her sister the tragic truth that in ballet class, you learn how kneeling like that negatively impacts the shape of your legs.
ダイヤモンドの制約、お疲れ。あとは
A soft breeze accompanies the abrupt sound of the door opening, and I stop what I'm doing with relief.
お疲れ様。今日はここまでにします。それでは忘れ物のないように。
Sister Basquiat leaves again, telling me to come by her room afterwards for a meeting about the choreography. Then, you okay over there? Shidahane entered the classroom with her, looking exhausted, even though she's not yet danced a single step. She hangs her head weakly, sensing my question without me having to ask it. Oh, poor girl. You'll get through it. You'll be fine, she says in a barely audible whisper.
どうして？
衣装係の子たちの気持ちはわかるわ。
確かに。です。
Being able to play dress up with the prettiest girl in school, or at least in our class, they must have gone all out. This is obviously bringing it all back for Shirahane as she goes bright red and covers her face with her hands. I can't stop laughter from bursting out of me.
ひどいわエリカさん
My bookworm buddy glares at me reproachfully and I apologize. Then I propose that everyone go shower and freshen up. They all agree except for...
私はもう一度通しで踊ってから戻るわ
Sure, I'm pretty sure you got this nailed down. Chidori goes back onto the floor alone as everyone else files out of the room.
やっぱり高崎さんは高崎さんねまあゆっくり変わればいいさ
That's a good point too. Like she's just still, again, I like that this game, this series in particular is just like, look, changes don't happen overnight. Like just because you learn something doesn't mean that you're gonna like jump right back into being able to adapt to the new things you do. I'm sure Chidori absolutely wants to slow down a little bit. And maybe she will next time around, but you just kind of got to get a little bit of it worked out, kind of get your mindset right. We are pushing right up on that recital, so it's probably really nerve-wracking trying to like change your habits, change your attitude a little bit, while also under the high stress of a big performance coming up. I murmur to myself as I watch my amitié partner check her movements in the mirror, her expression serious, but without the same tension as before. Of course, it's not like my days are spent doing nothing but ballet practice. I attend our regular 5 periods as usual, as well as the elective class. However, our ballet classes are now focused on practicing for the performance, and after-school club activities have been suspended for the time being as everyone is involved in rehearsals for the recital.
それだけじゃ時間が足りないって話なんだけどな
We're in English class right now, but I'm taking this as an opportunity to think about the choreography. I open my notebook and sit there racking my brain. While I'm considering the matter of balance...
さん
Oh dear. Someone calls my name in a soft voice and I respond. The girl next to me doesn't usually address me for no reason, but...
こう何度も呼びかけられりゃ要件は察せるってもんだ
Oh, they all are like, hey, give me the best part! Spread out over my desk are letters from my classmates. They aren't love letters, nor letters of complaint. They're requests asking for more time on stage or more chances to display their
し
skills.
かしそんなに張り切るもんかね
I'd get it if it were just 1 or 2 notes being sent my way, but over half of the participants have sent me their essays on how they think things could be improved. It's not that they have a problem with my choreography, they simply want to be able to show off their best performances.
バレエがやりたくてこの学院に入ったってやつも多いって話だしな
That's a stressful little job. Maybe that's why most of the students here are above average dancers. I've got the recent transfers and the girls without much ballet training working behind the scenes, but
これってオーロラ姫の目覚めの場面だろ静まり返った場面で僕がアラベスクしてどうするんだよ
I deny her conspicuously awful request. I draw a red line through it and scribble a note suggesting putting in a sauté during the coda. A sauté? A sout? I don't know what that is! And then I poke my neighbor's arm. I hand her the note, and it's passed back to the original
バ
sender.
レエ発表会も間近か
Yeah, how far are we out here?
食事ってのはこうじゃなくちゃな
I look at her go! Look at this! Are they having the same thing? It looks like they're both having the Hawaiian pork sauté. I add a sprinkle of salt and pepper to the pork loin, which has been cooked to perfection alongside some sliced garlic. The thick sauce is a mix of ketchup and Worcestershire sauce and a garnish of pineapple. Add the pineapple juice to the sauce mix and you have a perfect Hawaiian sauce. I slather the dark sauce, still containing some swirls of ketchupy red, over the crispy cooked garlic flavored pork. God, that sounds so good! Damn, my guy! I want to go to this school just to eat real good lunches and shit. Like, you got me for that. Can I just go to school and eat your food? The scents mingle in perfect harmony, practically begging me to eat it now, like right this second.
いただく。
I slice through the thick meat with my knife, coat it generously with sauce, and bring it to my lips. The garlicky scent is olfactory. The garlicky scent is olfactory bliss as I bite into the meat. Not too tough and not too tender. I feel a supreme sense of happiness. The sweet and sour sauce the sweet and sour sauce I'm sure I could eat on its own together with a bit of rice.
早く食え。冷めた料理ほどまずいものはないぞ。
発表会の前だからこそ体を絞りたい。
Nah, you're fine. One really good dinner like this ain't gonna hurt you.
何言ってるんだ。この暑さでサラダだけなんて体が持たないに決まってるだろ。
Yeah, you gotta get those
人一倍練習
calories.
してるんだからしっかり食っ
Like
てお
you're
けよ。
burnt. Like trust me, you're like in one afternoon of your rigorous training regimen. I'm sure you are going to burn off most of this meal. You're fine. Maybe not the bread. That's a lot of bread.
見ているところは見ているのよね。
なんだ。
Instead of answering, she takes a bite of my food. Got her. I watch spellbound as surprise and then joy replace her look of arrogance.
うまいって感じるのは体が欲してるからだ。
Eat your meat.
肉を食べろ。サラダなんざ年
There
取
you
ってからで
go.
いいんだよ。
前半は同意だわ。後半は意見
Nah, it
が分かれ
makes
る
sense.
と
It's
ころ
totally
だけど。
fine. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. She stands up from her seat and goes to get her notebook from her desk.
久しぶりに見たな。
最近は発見がなかったのよ。
The sound of her scribbling her new entry reverberates throughout the room. Then she goes back to her meal. I glance at the notebook, which she's now tossed onto the desk. You write about stuff you don't like?
好きなものとかを書いているのは知ってるけど、嫌いなものってのは書いてないのか？
Chidori's eating her way through the pork sauté with a delighted expression on her face. She looks deeply bemused by my question.
いちいち嫌いなものを書くの？感動して忘れたくないから書き留めるんじゃない。
Aww. She's looking at me like I'm crazy, and I mutter a quiet word of agreement. Still.
嫌いなものを書いてないって言われて安心した。
Aww.
私の名前は隠れてない。
I know she's presenting this like she's just playing, but I think she's like being real honest here.
嫌われてないってだけで嬉しいよ。
Oh, come
バカ
on.
ね。
She suddenly looks embarrassed, and I smile with satisfaction. As I chow down on a segment of pineapple,
何でも初めての体験は素晴らしい。
I murmur.
何？誰の言葉？
友人だよ。
My amitié partner isn't the only one who's taken by surprise at the words that spill from my lips. Friend. To think that that day should come when I would use that word so casually. I fall silent, reflecting how unlike me this is. Then, there's a knock on the door, and I call out for that person to come in. Hey, how you
まだ食
doing?
事中だったの。ごめんなさい。
いや、それより急な用件か。もしかして白羽が泣きを入れたとか？
My usual feline smile curls across my face as I recall my bookworm buddy turning bright red at the embarrassing but totally cute mime I came up with for her.
スオさんは一度やると言ったら曲げない人よ。そうじゃなくて、この子たちなんだけど。
These girls. The president ushers 3 of my classmates into the room.
バレエの振り付けのことで。
Oh
相談があるそうなんだけど。
no! They're coming directly to her room during lunch? No! You don't interrupt somebody's meal for this kind of garbage.
なるほど。魔の巣に来るには頼りになる青い鳥が必要だったってことだ。
That's so good. I mutter to myself, and the president regards me dubiously, her braids shaking. My other classmates look incredibly nervous about stepping foot in the lair of two known eccentrics.
わかったよ。食事が済んだら話そう。そうだな。教室に戻るのも面倒だし、10分後に食堂で落ち合うってのは。あ、はい、それでお願いします。
They bow their heads and exit the room as quickly as their legs can carry them, like they really have been trespassing in a dragon's lair.
走らない。
I glance at the president as she shouts after them, then turn to my amitié partner.
アミティエ権限を行使するなら今だぞ。もっと楽な演技に変えてやってもいい。
遠慮しておくわ。今のままで十分。
Taking a bite of the pork sauté, she stops and mumbles something. As she lapses into thought, I have the distinct feeling that she's cooking up something difficult again. Nothing good's gonna come of this.
まさかな。
Yep, I knew it. We're dancing. Where did it all start? The Sleeping Beauty. She'd boasted that she had completely mastered the basic dances, and of course she had. That's probably why she proposed adding in some higher level moves to further wow the audience. She's not gonna like injure herself, is she?
欲を出すのはわかるがな。
白鳥の湖の32回のフェッテアントルナを踊らせてと言っているわけではないでしょ。
That's a lot of fouets. That's a lot of fouets. Somebody as uncultured as me should not be allowed to be reading a game like this, I think. I think this game's too classy for me.
いいか、気候を考えろ。体力が持たない。倒れるのがオチだよ。
役者で自分の体調を把握していない者はいないわ。踊れないあなたにはわからないでしょうけどね。
Whoa! Whoa! Okay, let's pull back for a sec. Yeah, thinking back on it now, that must have been the start of it. Even Chidori must have realized her own thoughtlessness. She ignored the gasps of my classmates as they clustered around us and left the classroom, her face deathly pale. Ooh, that... I don't think Erica took offense to that. I just don't think she just kind of seems pretty actualized to it now. My eyes don't register any color. The sky peeking through the window is white. The forest is an undulating ocean of the deepest black. The walls are gray and cold. Cold? No. Both my body and mind are burning hotter than they ever have before, and the pulsing fires of my heart are being further fueled by regret.
こんな気持ちになることはなかったのに。
I said something cruel and thoughtless. That I can acknowledge, but I've made fun of her countless times before. Why is it that this time my heart feels like it's being crushed, so saturated is it with the aches of regret? I let out a long sigh as though to expel that heat swirling around me. I'll go back. I don't know what she's feeling right now, but I have to apologize. My vision threatens to blur. I press my fingers hard against my eyelids before setting off back to our room.
ようやくお姫様のお戻りだな。
Oh, the princess returns at last. As soon as I hear Erica's teasing tone, the color returns to my... Oh, honey. You got it so bad. Oh, the one thing that brings color to your world. Woo, girl. Girl, girl, girl. You got it real bad. And as the color warms my cold outlook, the tension leaves my body and the raging heat inside me calms, no longer threatening to erupt.
エリカ、
前に言っただろ。湿っぽいのはなしだ。別に気にしちゃいないさ。
そうなの？
I linger in the doorway, not having the courage to look at her. She goes on in an unexpectedly cheerful
クラ
voice.
スメイトたちにもいつもの軽口の言い合いだって話はつけといたから問題ない。
Damn. Like,
感触は収まったのか？
Are you done worrying about literally nothing? Right. The moment I realize she thinks I got angry over a clash in opinions over ballet, I'm relieved in a very real sense. Because I know that she wasn't hurt by what I said. That didn't hurt her. I'd been afraid to look at her until I'd heard those words of absolution. But now, as I peel myself away from the door frame and make my way into the
もう
room,
平気よ。ごめんなさい。
I finally take a proper look at my amitié partner, smiling her cat-like smile. Oh! And then freeze in my tracks when I see that Sister Basquiat is standing beside her.
どうした？いつものやつだよ。風呂の介助に来てくれたんだ。まさかプライベートな話を聞かれて恥ずかしいとかめめしいことを言うんじゃないだろうな。
She smirks at me, but rather than someone hearing our private conversation, I'm more concerned about...
なんでこの人は特別なの？
Oh! Yeah, she's big jealous of Dahlia, isn't she? Even though she's drawn all these boundaries around herself and resolved to let no one cross them,
バスキア教諭だけは入ってこられるの？
why do you think you're not, though? Like, you are literally, like... I mean, obviously, like... You haven't crossed every barrier yet, and maybe that's kind of, like, what the deal here is. Maybe it's just, like, we need to kind of, like, break through everything now for, like, the real deal. I can't let her open her heart to anyone but me. I can feel a flame burning inside me even fiercer than when I'm challenging myself to pull off a difficult move in ballet.
おい、なんだってんだよ。そんなに恨みがましい目で。
Yeah, that's exactly
ま
what
る
it
で嫉妬に
is!
狂う委員長みたい
This
だ
is like a big fit of jealousy.
何を言っているのか。
No, you don't know what you're talking about. Bull and shit.
ま、そりゃそうか。とにかくわだかまりも解けたってことで風呂に行ってくるよ。
I notice Erica's fingers brush Sister Basquiat's hands. They're resting, which are resting familiarly on the handles of her wheelchair. And
待って。
what? My lips move out of their own accord.
なんだよ。どうした？まさか3人一緒に入ろうってんじゃないだろうな。
いいえ、3人では
Whoa! We're
私
making
と
the
エリカ
move,
が入浴
huh?
するのよ。
Just like, all right, fine. Like, cross that final barrier. Break down that last wall, right? Oh, that's big.
高崎さん？
My amitié partner looks dumbfounded while Sister Basquiat is regarding me with suspicion. I put forth my opinion with far more passion than is usual for me.
私たちはアミティエ同士でしょ。お風呂以外の介助はしている。驚くことなんてないわ。
いや、そりゃ道理だが、今まで。
Because I was a big dummy and a baby and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be close to somebody. I was afraid of breaking down a barrier. But now I desperately want that barrier broken down.
バスキア教諭も怪我をするし、
That's a
風邪
good
をひく時
point.
だってあるわ。先だっても。バスキア教諭の誕生日の数日前、
Yeah?
前例があるじゃない。
I'm referring to whatever happened a few days before Erica's revelation about the truth behind the Hookman incident. For some reason, the two of them share an awkward look. Something stirs inside me at the thought that they share some kind of secret.
そうね。確かに私に何かあったとき、誰にも頼れない状況があるのはまずいわね。
I also wonder if maybe, like, Dahlia is maybe feeling a little like, oh, you know, I guess it's over then. You know, I guess we don't have this, like, little thing of ours anymore. Not in, like, a, you know, I guess a romantic way or anything, but I got the feeling that, like, she really enjoys those candid one-on-one talks that she can have and just kind of let loose with somebody that she knows is kind of intellectually on the same level. Like, I kind of wonder if she's going to kind of feel a little like, oh, well, you know. I mean, and obviously she, like, my suspicion still is that she's always kind of wanted Chidori and Erica's relationship to reach this point, and she put them together for this very reason, so she kind of knew what was going to happen, but it's also probably a little bit bittersweet for her in the moment. Let's go! It'll be fun. My MTA partner signals to me with a smile, and I walk over to her. She says something incomprehensible and for some reason pulls an exaggerated expression of fear. Even though I'm the one who suggested this whole thing, I find myself extremely embarrassed when it comes time to undress her. I help her get dressed in our room, so I shouldn't have any issues undressing her here, and yet... Erica allows me to undress her, seemingly unbothered by the whole thing, then goes over to the washing area. As she's washing herself, she orders me about as casually as if she were asking me to pick something up from the store. She has no idea just how nervous I am, how hard I'm struggling to calm my racing heart. Then... Aww. Aww. She says in a voice as steady as a note on a violin as she takes a firm hold of my hand. Yeah, like day one? This is definitely not something I would have imagined. No way, that's not it, she answers with a boyish smile. Her gaze grows nostalgic. Those strong-willed, vindragious eyes of hers appear far gentler than usual. I find myself unable to meet them properly. I think y'all forgot something. Okay, there we go. I knew it. Those words cut me deep, you know, when you said I wouldn't understand being unable to dance myself. I can't let that go. I've lost trust in you. The hand that I'm using to support her trembles, and though I know I should say something, I find myself unable to. What should I... Erica, you're so mean. Like, look, you made a mistake. You didn't mean anything by it. She shakes her head slightly, cutting me off. Like, dude, like, yeah, like, she knows, like, maybe, sure, you said something insensitive, but she knows it wasn't said out of malice. Like, sometimes friends say shit, and it comes off really bad. Like, trust me, I've had a number of instances in all of my time, especially online friendships, where you're probably mostly communicating via text, where sometimes you'll say something and shit just comes off completely wrong. And then you've got to spend the next 2 to 3 hours or days kind of unwrapping, like, that's not what I meant by that. Actually, I meant this. So yeah. Like, she's just saying, hey, like, this is kind of how friendships go. Erica flashes me another cheerful, boyish grin, and my frozen heart thaws, moved by her kindness. She squeezes my hand tight.
一人で抱え込むのは
Problem
きつい。
shared is a
二人でなら
problem
すること
halved.
じゃねえ。だろ。
Damn. Girl, you hit the lottery. You had the best damn MTA partner anybody could ask for. Her green eyes hold mine, and I can feel something hot bubbling up from the base of my stomach, a tingling sensation spreading through my whole body. When I say nothing, she mutters, was that too
以
cheesy?
前カラマーゾフの兄弟って本を読んだんだが、
She then tells me about a novel she once read. Christ is fasting in the wilderness, that when the devil appears to tempt him, it's known as the temptation of Christ. You ever watched The Last Temptation of Christ? That is a great movie. Everybody should watch it. Fantastic. The devil tests Christ by challenging him to perform a miracle and turn a stone into a loaf of bread. Christ retorts that man cannot live by bread alone, but in the Brothers Karamazov, a different interpretation is put forward, that miracles themselves are the devil's
奇
work.
跡が悪魔の。
作者の意図する意味ではないだろうけど、奇跡は悪魔の所業だってセリフは私には心強い言葉に聞こえたよ。
When I tell my head in confusion, she indicates to me with a jerk of her chin, then points at herself.
私たちには奇跡が起こるってさ。
Oh.
だって私たちは神を信じてないし、ろくに祈りもしない。
確かに。そうね。
だから奇跡は起こる。
Erica asserts, and I return her smile at last.
ようやく笑いやがった。
This unbelievable amitié partner of mine, still able to care about me and treat me with such kindness after I said those thoughtless things. The feelings I had had toward my underclassmen, my only
ガ
friend.
スキや教諭も心配していた。後で謝っておけよ。
At the sudden mention of her name, the emotions that had been blossoming within me immediately wither and are replaced instead by a jealousy that threatens to tear my heart to shreds.
嫉妬。
どうした？
なんでもないわ。
I mutter, searching my heart for where that word had come from. Is it terror? Is it because I suspect Sister Basquiat might take my one and only friend from me? No, but
おかしなやつだな。
seeing Erica grin sets my pulse racing like it never has before, and my heart swells with a real sense of fullness. I want to see her smile more. I want to know more of her secrets. I want all of her. We're facing one another completely in the nude. It's only now that that fact truly hits me.
どうした？湯あたりか？熱い湯が苦手なら最初から言えよ。
Unable to look her in the face, I murmur my agreement to the concerned Erica. Well, Ichigo did say that, like, the best way to become close to somebody is to, like, eat out of the same bowl and bathe in the same water as near naked as possible. So it turns out that Ichigo is just the wisest. We're halfway through the series now, and that's the big mid series reveals. Oh no, Ichigo's actually the wisest one of the group or something. I in no way believe that to be the case. Since everyone is different, everyone has a different way of looking at things. The very essence of a thing changes when perceived by people of different genders, background, or social position, even if, at first sight, the other person's vision appears no different to yours. I'm standing in front of my desk, clutching a pencil. I stare at the name written on the page of my notebook. Are these feelings of mine wrong? Oh, her name's there. Her name's there. She wrote Erica's name in there. If everyone sees a different vision of the world, then there must be some out there who view these feelings otherwise. But they wouldn't belong at this academy. If you adhere to religious doctrine, then they're unforgivable. But neither of the two of you, very clearly, neither of the two of you adhere to religious doctrine. No, my feelings are... I think of Sister Basquiat and the words on the page contort. The defect that resulted in me coming to this academy, I force myself to calm down and think of the girl whose name is written down before me. Even though I've finally become aware of my own feelings, her heart is... Oh, no! No, 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 no! Not like this! No! It's not like that. It's not like that. Oh, that was so painful. Ugh. My whisper comes out so hoarse I surprise myself, and I realize just how twisted and ugly these emotions I'm harboring are. Oh, got it. Oh. Oh, we're just gonna leave it at that, huh? No realization. Oh. Ah! When you're working towards a goal, the days shoot by in a flash. But when you're stuck in hospital, they pass by strangely slowly and end up feeling all drawn out. The days leading up to the ballet recital go by so fast, it's like they never even happened. Consolidating everyone's opinions, implementing the choreography, improving the precision of the performance. And in addition to all of that, figuring out the scenery, which is being made predominantly by the transfer students who came in with no ballet experience. I've helped my father with DIY stuff before, so the process is as I'd imagined, but I have to marvel at the process of creating costumes from scratch, which is being led by the girls who are skilled at sewing, though with the rest of the cast pitching in too. The dressmaking process begins with a talented artist from the class drawing out a design while taking into account the opinions of the cast member. After that, the cast member is measured up, which is when Shirahane had her traumatic experience the other day. It seems that they take down the measurements a little smaller than the girl's actual size. That's because they'll slim down a bit before the actual performance. Then they gather together the material for the outfit and all the accoutrements and create a paper pattern. Once that's done and they've made the test garment, they can finally move on to basting, a temporary stitching. This is when they do final fitting and make any necessary adjustments. They next finish up the stitching and the ballet costume is finished. As someone who's terrible at sewing, typically ending up with more needle holes in my fingers than in the fabric, I take my hat off to them. The girls behind the scenes, who won't be dancing at all, are working together creatively to make the performance the best it can possibly be. Even when it comes to the music, we're not using something pre-recorded. Several classmates who are proficient in violin and piano players volunteered to add further to the performance. Absolutely everything, from the music to the costumes to the choreography, to say nothing of the dancing, is being done by the first years, and our work is now nearing its end. First, the backdrops were completed, and then the long, grueling costume fittings were done with too. With each part of the prep that's completed, we get closer to the day of the recital. The days pass by in a blur of activity. Right. Except for one thing. One of my favorite things in high school is, like, I was in theater throughout all of high school, and one of, like, for some reason, like, the night before every performance is when we would have to go basically stay until, like, almost midnight to do, like, the set up and everything that was going to be done behind the scenes, because everybody that was acting in the plays would also be doing behind the scenes work. And I have so many fond memories of those nights in putting sets together and stuff for our performances. Those were fun. Good stuff. It's just me reminiscing and going off on tangents that nobody is going to give a shit about. At first, it was just a sense that something was off. My amitié partner carried on with her intense practice just as before. Even without all the extra effort, she'd still be deserving of way more than just a passing grade. Everyone recognized that, but she showed no sign of giving up her devotion to striving for ever greater precision in her dancing. Honestly, though, I have no complaints about the fact that Chidori's frightening intensity has served to boost our other classmates' attitudes. That much is all well and good. However,
そこまで。
Chidori is driving herself too hard, and she's ignoring any urges to stop. She continues practicing and practicing, pushing herself in her quest for a better, more refined performance that would keep everyone captivated. But the music stops, interrupting her practice. Boy, I'm non-stop lawnmowers all day. I don't know if that's coming through on the mic or not, but I've just been hearing non-stop lawnmowers all day. My immediate partner glares resentfully at Sister Basquiat, her breathing labored. Oh no! Out come the claws, here we go.
コーンを詰めすぎだ。もう十分だろうが。
It's enough, calm down. Have a chill pill, please.
まだ足りないわ。
これ以上はオーバーワークです。これ以上続けたいのなら休みを取りなさい。
はい。
I don't have to listen to you, Mom! It's probably the last thing she wants to do, but still, in a bit of a mood, Chidori moves away to hug the wall.
なんだか怒っているみたいね、彼女。
怒ってる？最近は喧嘩する暇もないくらい
Really too
忙
busy
し
to
かったん
fight.
だぜ。
It's true, though. Chidori seems to have reverted to the crabby haughtiness of when we first met. Plus,
なんだかどんどん調子を崩してやがる
girl
し。
is having a rough time with it.
ええ、まるで彼女じゃないみたい。
I think she's pushing herself even further now because she wants Erica to be the one to see this grand performance. Like it's not a competition with Dahlia, but it is. Like she wants to be like the number one. And maybe she doesn't realize it, but I'm kind of getting the feeling that maybe she's kind of already reached that point. Right. That sense I had that something was off. It derived from the fact that Chidori's dancing was gradually losing its precision.
正確に言えば安定感がなくなったってやつか。
She's getting more and more dangerous. She's going more and more all out in an effort to impress Erica, I believe. Constantly aiming higher isn't something to criticize in a performer. However, when you're driving yourself not just one level past your limits, but multiple levels, the risk of failure jumps up too. Since that night when Chidori helped me in the baths and I felt we opened up to one another, there's been more than one instance where she seemed on the verge of seriously injuring herself. I've managed to stop her each time, but
カエルの
boy,
面に
that
小便
lawnmower
っ
is
て
so
のが可愛
loud.
らしな。
Why is literally everybody mowing today? It's like pissing in the wind!
まあ、下品なこと言って。
It's a well-known saying. Has she never heard it before?
八重垣さんは高崎さんが怒っている理由、本当に知らないの？
Nah, I thought we were really cool. Like we did the bad thing and everything. I thought things were kind of going on a much better path. In response to her question, I answer, maybe it's because I complimented your dancing?
覚えならある。
I mutter.
どんな？また八重垣さんが軽口を吐いてそれで怒らせたとか？
いや、唯一思い当たるって言ったら委員長の踊りを手放しで褒めたくらいだよ。
私の踊りを？
ああ、正直一番直しが少なかったし、指示した通りに演じきる。褒めるところしかないしな。
そんな、私そんなに良かったかしら。
She blushes and fiddles with her braids, shaking her head in denial. I'd meant to use a little flattery as a smokescreen, but...
いや、なんかすまん。
何？
Unable to come up with a response, I fall silent.
やっぱり面と向かって聞くしかないわ。
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's gonna help. After thinking it over for a while, this is the conclusion she comes to.
悩んだ結果がそれかよ。
でも2人のやりとりを見た限りだときちんと話し合ってはいないんじゃないかしら。
確かに話しちゃいないが。
アミティエ同士なんだから腹を割って話すことも必要よ。膝を突き合わせて尋ねればきっと訳を話してくれるわ。
It makes logical sense, but to me it sounds more like mere idealism.
まっとうに尋ねても口を割ってくれそうもないんだよな。
どうして？
Because I'm the one who lives with her. I know how stubborn she is. If she's decided that there's no need to talk about it, she's not gonna talk about it.
嘘でもついて罠にかけて
There you go. If anybody could pull that off.
ダメよ、そんなことフェアじゃないわ。
残念だがフェアだとかはどうでもいい。一番嘘のうまいやつが大統領
Wise beyond her years. I let the Prez's protest wash over me as I think to myself. With the ballet recital looming ever closer, we really do need to talk. All right. Oh. I hear a sneeze. That's not good. Are you sick now?
夏風邪は猫しか引かないっていう。
Did you get... Yeah, you've like worn yourself down so much. Are you catching a... Summer colds are the worst. Who wants a cold in the middle of summer? Oh, that's terrible. Maybe it's just allergies, though. Seizing an opportunity to break the silence, I make a joke, but... She keeps her eyes fixed on her textbook and gives no response.
委員長には嘘でもついて本音を引き出そうと言ったが。
With her this stony-faced, I'm hesitant to try that, so...
ゲネプロは明日だぞ。
That must surely hit her in the sensitive spot. We're holding the full dress rehearsal for the ballet recital tomorrow. However, she again exhibits no response, keeping her eyes on her textbook with the same bored expression on her face.
成功法でもダメじゃないかよ。
And this girl's just she's not budging. I suddenly find myself wanting to complain to the Prez.
聞く耳を持たずって態度でも構わない。そのまま聞けよ。明日のゲネプロはヨゼフ座でやる。大道具係や衣装係が客として見学しちゃいるが、本番じゃない。流していい。
My amitié partner, who's continued to push herself with frightening intensity, doesn't react at all, even though I'd chosen my words specifically to get a rise out of her.
お前も本番前に無理はしない方がいいって分かってるよな。まあ、バスキア教諭も見るんだ。あんまり恥ずかしい演技はできない。
There's the magic word.
そう。
Oh, God! Yeah, there it is! Jeez. Woof. Woo!
おう。まあな。私たちの失敗はバスキア教諭の失敗になるんだし。
I stare at her, wondering why that's what's caused her to bite, then...
エリカはバスキア教諭のために振り付けを引き受けたの。
Nah, that's not why she did it. But it sounds like Erica's just not... Both of these responses are, I'm not ready to say why. If I say what I say right now, it acknowledges something, and I don't know that I want to acknowledge it yet. Those quiet words of her hit me right in my weak spot.
別に関係ないだろ。
I answer reflexively.
そう。そうね。
Oh,
確かに私には
jeez.
関係のない話だ。
She's feeling so left out.
千鳥。
やめて。親しげに名前でなんて呼ばないで。
An awkward tension settles between us. I remember back when it was suggested that a 3-person amitié system might be a good idea.
今ほどもう一人アミティエが欲しいと思ったことはないな。
Praying to the Lord for a third wheel. The silence is oppressive.
ここは空気が悪いわ。
Oh, jeez.
あ？
今日は白羽さんの部屋に泊まることにするわ。
Wow, you are jeez, dog. I thought we had something here. I thought we crossed this bridge. Jealousy is a motherfucker. She doesn't even give me time to respond.
なんだってんだ。
My attempt to speak openly and get to the bottom of whatever was distressing her has only served to widen the rift between us further.
正直者はダメだ。やっぱり大統領論でやるべきだったぜ。
I mutter to myself and stare at the closed door in silence for a while. My gaze then alights on Chidori's textbook, which must have fallen to the floor when she stormily left her seat. Honestly. I moved my wheelchair over to her desk.
介助者が手間をかけさせるんじゃ。
My hand stills as I'm about to pick it up. I thought she'd been staring at a textbook all this time, but this is... Oh, she was staring at that page the whole time. Just... Oh... Oh dear. It hadn't been on purpose, but a combination of guilt and a kind of gentle numbing pain floods my chest as I find my amitié partner's secret laid bare before me. I stare once again at the door through which she disappeared. Oof! And I know you're going to love what I have to say next, which is why I'm not going to say it. There's always at least one student you like you in class, someone who thinks they... But that's not the school's fault that it's boring. It's your fault that you're boring. I recall a wise saying from the Japanese movie After School. Now, what was it? There was always at least one student like you in a class, someone who thinks they know everything, who feels the world is unfairly against them. But it's not the school's fault that it's boring. It's your fault that it's boring. And it's your fault that we're going to call it there for now. So that's definitely... Man, Chidori going through it. Man, Chidori thought she, finally, bridged the gap. And now, this jealousy over the relationship that Erica has with Dahlia is just kind of like, oh man, it's tearing her up. Oof, that is rough. But hopefully we'll get a chance to straighten things out the next time we're together. So there's that to look forward to. So thanks so much for stopping by. As always, I hope you have a nice rest of your whatever, wherever it is that you are, and we will catch you next time. Bye!